More than 30 major conflicts are taking place at this very moment. The International Committee of the Red Cross, the ICRC, acts as a neutral intermediary between the factions at war. The basic rights of the wounded, prisoners and civilians are laid down in the Geneva Conventions for the Protection of Victims of War. In their negotiations, the delegates of the ICRC try to ensure that international humanitarian law is respected. Sometimes their negotiations are successful, for instance, when a release of prisoners of war can be agreed and organized. Every year, the ICRC visits over 100,000 prisoners in more than 50 countries. For prison visits, the ICRC has its customary procedure. Its delegates must be able to see all prisoners and all premises, to visit prisoners regularly, not only once. Are they well treated? Are the minimum standards met? Have improvements been made since the last visit? If necessary, the ICRC makes recommendations to the authorities on how to improve the treatment of prisoners. Once the prisoners are registered and put in contact with their families, they can be protected more easily. Their existence is now known. By seeing prisoners regularly, without witnesses, it's possible to build a relationship of trust with them and to know what really happens in prison.
Это в Физулинском районе, вы сказали, или?
Там задержали военные комендатуры.
А там где крепость какая-то?
Too often, civilian lives and essential civilian facilities are destroyed by weapons used indiscriminately. All combatants must know the rules of war, that only military targets may be attacked, that civilians, prisoners, hospitals, the wounded must be respected and cared for, even in the heat of battle. By monitoring conditions and needs during its daily practical work, the ICRC can make recommendations on how to improve the protection of the civilian population during armed conflict. Thanks to its confidential treatment of information, strict impartiality and independence, it is present in almost every war zone. War makes hundreds of thousands homeless. How can missing relatives be found? The Red Cross tracing offices help to establish contact between members of separated families, even across the front lines. With the help of 162 national Red Cross societies all over the world, the ICRC provides a Red Cross message service. In Bosnia, for example, the postal service had broken down completely. Since then, over 7 million Red Cross messages have been written and delivered. The International Committee of the Red Cross is strongly against the use of anti-personnel mines, as they injure and kill civilians indiscriminately, even after the war is over. Surgical teams and other specialized staff can be mobilized within 24 hours, thanks to close cooperation with national Red Cross and Red Crescent societies all over the world.
Yeah, so, simple.
Often, war creates famine. Local National Red Cross volunteers can act very quickly. They help the ICRC delegates to supervise relief distributions. Traditional food production has to continue even during the conflict. Agricultural rehabilitation programs help to reduce the need for food aid. They encourage people to stay in the rural areas and those who fled to come back home.